Let's head straight into our conversation now, where we'll be looking at state of our nation and so many other issues that will be a part of the discussion. Sitting very close to me is Comrade Omeka. Okay, let's quickly get the name correctly so we'll not be missing it. He's a person of Comrade Michael Ajayi. He's the local government chairman for the pensioners in the state. Okay, welcome to the show. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you.
All right, from this angle is Comrade Zachary Idris. He's a civil rights activist, and of course, one that has always been on the show. Thank you so much, Comrade Zachary, for coming.
Thank you. Always an absolute delight to come here and share thoughts with our people and with the family here.
Okay, and from my extreme left is Emmanuel Obakolo, Esquire, a legal practitioner and a rights activist. Thank you so much for coming, Comrade Obakolo.
Pretty good morning to Nigerians.
So let's begin with you. Yesterday was the Workers' Day celebration, and across some states, we saw how workers were jubilating, of course, mostly at the federal level. We saw the increment, but there seems to be a kind of disconnection between TUC, NLC, and FG looking at the current increment. Do you think the NLC is pushing too far?
I don't think the NSC is pushing too far. It's unfortunate that at this state or stage of life, generally, that the government of Nigeria, both at the federal, state, and local governments, are not sincere with the people of Nigeria. The purported salary increments, I don't know whether anybody is calling it wage, because the last time we had a minimum wage was the one signed by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. And that minimum wage, to the best of my knowledge and capacity, expired last month. And unfortunately, the government now came schemingly to announce a supposed salary increment that was done by then President Muhammadu Buhari, because that increment only affected some ministries, so to speak. And quickly, schemingly, like I did say, the government now metamorphosed that angle of the supposed minimum wage to other persons now and target salary increments. And at the state level, some governors were very sharp, particularly the one we have here in Edo State, quickly, before even the federal government could come up with any announcement, quickly just bamboozled the workers in Edo State with what he called 70,000 naira increment. And before you know, some persons went on the street with placard and begin to applaud him and eulogize his electronic scheme. Permit me to use that word. So
electronic scheme, what do you mean by that? Let's have clarity to this statement.
A kind of electrifying the people, trying to let the people know that something is happening, whereas absolutely nothing is happening. So,
but there was an increment, Barrister Obakolo.
Forget that increment. I call it election abracadabra. If you want me to go further, I'll keep using adjectives to qualify what the governor has done.
No, don't worry, just land on your thought.
You begin to see where those in government use the instrumentality of government to begin to misdirect the people of Nigeria.
Okay.
So that at the close of the day, we will not see a situation where Nigerians begin to fight amongst themselves and the political class will not be singing Uhuru. But we are telling them that, look, the epoch of Uhuru has gone and cannot resurface, because I think Nigerians, and particularly Edolites, are more wiser this time. So the government, to my mind, has done absolutely nothing. Because if you look at the rate of inflation, you look at the degree of survival in Nigeria today, then you would agree with me that the purported increment was a minus.
Okay, Comrade Osifo actually said that the 615,000 naira increment will not have any impact on the economy in any way, and it's not going to trigger inflation in any way. Comrade Zachary, what says you? And looking at the increment of the salaries in Edo State, 70,000 naira increment, do you think it's politically motivated, like he said?
Thank you again for having me share my thoughts here. Anything that takes money from the pocket of government and puts in the pocket of the people is something that I personally applaud. I like when we are beginning to move money from those who have appropriated it to themselves mostly and putting it in the hands of majority of people. What our governor in Edo State has done is not new. When the rest of the nation were paying 18,000 naira minimum wage, the then governor, Comrade Adams Oshomole, increased his own in the twilight, it's not twilight now, just prior to his own election, prior to this governor's election, he increased it to 25,000 naira. And just before his own election, second term re-election, he increased it from the general 30 to 40,000. And we have an election in another few months, and he has increased it to 70,000 naira. In my mind, I am afraid that this does not translate to what the Benin man calls Obubu Yeye. The more you look, the less you see. Because you will remember last December, there was this touted 13th month salary. It made all the national dailies, it made all the news channels, and it was on repeat for more than a week that the government of Edo State is paying 13th month salary. Some of us even relocated to the houses of our friends who were in the civil service so that we can partake and participate in their 13th month salary. You know, it came as a rude awakening, if you like, a rude shock, when some people were receiving maybe 10,000 naira, 14,000 naira, 16,000 naira. It was actually not 13th month salary, it was like pocket money. And when some persons wanted to complain, you know the Nigerian factor, now they will say, oh, at all, na be which half bread is always better than none. So in my mind, this...
But in a way, the 13th salary looks like a full package. But it didn't come like that.
A lot of persons complained that they didn't get it.
Okay,
like
you
that.
Got it like that. Okay, you'll be sharing your thoughts.
Let him land. But a lot of persons complained that it didn't come, especially those in the lower cadre of the state employed. Then, so for me, the 70,000 naira minimum wage, again, it's like an ambush on the people, like the lawyer has rightly posited. We are yet to agree nationally what should be the new living wage of the Nigerian worker. Okay. 70,000 naira in today's money is around $50, a little less than $50. When 18,000 naira was the minimum wage, 18,000 naira was $100. So if we want to have any reasonable kind of wage for workers in Edo State, we start from 150,000 naira and above. I do think that the 615,000 that Labour are proposing is unrealistic, and I think we should begin to have realistic conversation. I think the problem we now have is that because Labour knows our government is not sincere, Labour now proposes things that are outrageous. So it's both extreme. You go outrageous, I go outrageous. Let everybody be crazy together. At the end of the day, we'll be able to come to a compromise on some of these things. So in the final analysis, I think that the 70,000 naira increase in Edo State is more ornamental than functional. And what I would demand from government is that they give our people, look, you should not use people who have worked to play politics. They should be given a functional wage, a wage that takes people home, a take-home pay. So we will proceed. Going forward, I will suggest that the things that have a workman is entitled to his pay. So the things that are meant for labor, they should be done without political undertones to it. Okay. Fuel was removed. Fuel subsidy was removed almost a year ago when Asiwaju became president. In fact, where he was being sworn in was when he declared that fuel subsidy OT law. So I would have expected that as at then, when they started receiving huge allocation, because here in Edo State, allocation quadrupled. It almost went 4 times, you know, where somebody was getting 3 billion and I getting almost 12 billion. So I would have expected that immediately they will move with the trend, but to wait till the night before an election of if your candidate in a government that is seemingly unpopular in the state today shows that it's more of a, like I said, ornamental than functional. Okay,
let's get to the Chairman Local Government Pensioners Association, Edo State. The pensioners in the state, with this current increment and the previous one, have they been carrying along?
No. That is where I also don't like what is happening, either at the federal or state
level. Okay.
Level. Because they think of workers alone. They don't think of the pensioner. Oh. And so it's like they are praying that pensioners should die. Yes, because they don't have program for it.
No plans at all?
No plans. In the announcement, even when it was, some of us retired at 18,000 naira as minimum wage. Oh. And then it has increased up to now 70. Those of 18,000 still remain 18,000. But there is a law right there that says every 5 years, or anyone that comes first, if you increase salaries, then also implement something for the pensioners. But if in 5 years it was not, then it also harmonized the salary of, pension of a pensioner. Yeah. But no government has done that. You see them putting pensioners like they are wasted products. But these people have done their best. They worked. They've used their youthful period to serve the state. In fact, what they did in their own time, they can't even do it now.
But there was a time this government actually said they took care of pensioners. They actually gave us statistics of a particular period of time, that from so time to so time, those that actually left the service will be having their full package. Were you carried along as a chief state chairman?
That full package came from the areas. There's a governor, I don't want to mention name now, that actually destroyed the system. Normally, before you retire, your forms or your papers are submitted to the pension board of the road, and then they'll process it. Before you leave, they'll pay you. But a man came in and just stopped it. So pensioners were submitting forms anywhere. In fact, if you go to government, I'll see files on the ground. That was what really gave birth to a pensioner protesting on the street. If you witness it, there was a time we wear black, we wear red, and so on, blocking the road. But in that, we now came to negotiation. But then nothing happened. They paid the arrears, because then they were owing pensioners 40, 50 months. But at the end, this governor began clearing them, and
has it been cleared?
Yes, fully that of the areas of state pensioner have been cleared. But that of local government pensioner, they are still having just the minor ones that are still remaining.
And they were part of those that actually had their 40, 50 months held back.
Yes. Some of them, because pension issue is, you cannot solve it one day. As we're talking, some of them are in the village. They don't even know what is happening. By the time they hear the news tomorrow, they say, they are owing me. So,
Okay, but Barrister Bakpolo, you can't talk about the Nigerian workers without talking about those that have actually paid their due, talking about the pensioners. Do you think government at both federal and state level, they have been fair to these pensioners?
The answer is glaring and is known to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But unfortunately, too, I would also blame some of our retired fathers and mothers. Because in a situation where a governor will just come with what they call olive tree or olive whatever, and just flash it on their faces, you still see some of those our parents will now carry placard and go to the street, go to the road, and begin to seek the praises of that governor. Look, our parents didn't work. They are entitled to whatever that comes to them. The governor or the president or the local government chairman or whoever that is in charge of the payment of the pensioners, retirees, is not paying from his private pocket, for goodness sake. He's paying for government coffers. He's paying for what they contributed as at when they were in active service. But unfortunately today, you see division. And that is what those in government do. There is this divide and rule style of governance, where they will not create opportunity for some persons and draw that person to be very close to their breast, while others are far away. Well, we don't need that kind of system. For goodness sake, persons who have labored, persons who have put their effort, their youthful age, they use it to labor for the local government, they use it to labor for the states, they use it to labor for the federal government, for the whole entirety of Nigeria, and at the close of the day, you begin to look at them as if they don't make meaning, or they don't have any right, so to speak, with respect to their entitlement. So you see all of this situation. Now, look at, for goodness sake, the government keeps increasing tax, multiple tax, multiplicity of tax here and there. The one that we are battling, we have not come out of the subsidy gone with the wave of the palm. Somebody nasty in this kind of situation now remove subsidy from electricity, and you look the impunity in carrying out all of those policies. And when somebody say, no, but this is not the position, you say, you don't give a bluff that whatever the government says stands, becomes final. But the laws are there. For instance, Section 116 of the Electricity Act say that you cannot increase electricity tariff until, one, you must provide constant power to the people. Two, there must be a public notice to the people where the people will come and make their own input. They were aware of all of that.
But we're told this increment only affect those in the band A.
What is band?
Those in the band A users.
The government
only affect the band A users.
The government has come out to ban electricity in Nigeria. Let me tell you, ban, B-A-N.
They didn't say that.
No, they have. Forget the band A to Z that they are now categorized Nigerians into. See, there are so many issues in this country, and those in government know that there are issues. But when they want to deal amongst themselves, they deal amongst themselves with kid gloves. But when they want to deal with the people of Nigeria, they use religion, they use ethnicity to divide us.
Okay, let's
and at the close of the day, you see that Nigerians are now more impoverished. This style, the instrument that the government is using today was to ensure that the people of Nigeria are more impoverished. And when the people are impoverished, they cannot speak.
Okay, let's talk about Edo politics now, Comrade Zachary. Whether we like it or not, the intrigues leading to the 2024 Edo election is just increasing. Just give us an overview to the political landscape as we begin to make sense of this particular segment of the discussion.
Yeah, well, we are in Edo State, and even the blind can see it, even the deaf can hear it, that elections have come. And you know, like we say, elections are a time of reckoning. Elections is when you see the humility in politicians. It's when the big man becomes a poor man, and the poor man will become a big man. It's a swap of places, electoral swapping of places. So we have three major political parties. There are others, the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party. All three of them have their candidates. There are key issues that are determining how the vote will go, some of which are ethnicity. You know, people have promoted that. It's been a major source of promotion that, a certain part of the state should have, you know, the power. But empirical evidence proves otherwise, that the average man is interested mostly in a government that works for him or her, regardless of where that person comes from. So those who are playing that card, I wish them well. You know, and then you can see now that the politicians are coming to make promises upon promises. It is heartbreaking that after 8 years, the same party will say, "It go do am." I mean, what you supposed to do what you never do before, you know? The other party say, "It don't do." They are tired. You know, we don't want the one way they do again, we won't do new one. What they want to do newly is left for us to see. And then the other party, we are yet to even get a feel of what they are thinking. So in general, the atmosphere is good.
You're actually speaking in parable.
Yes, in parable. Those who are inside know, they understand.
Okay.
They understand. We don't need to promote them here. Nabi they pay. We cannot promote them.
All right, go on.
So I want to use this opportunity to still talk to our Edo people. Do not be cajoled. Do not be deceived. Do not kowtow to any politician. This is the time of your power. I guarantee them that nobody can come and rig election in this state. We are hearing that they may rig, but nobody can rig election in this state. This state belongs to us. I am not saying they can't rig anywhere. Rig anywhere you like. You know, you see that they are like, they say they rig federal election, they rig other state, is their problem. You see that elephant they are holding, let them hold their elephant there. But you see this our chicken, which is Edo State, we hold it very dearly. Okay. And in September we are going to elect.
It is the heartbeat of the nation.
Absolutely.
It's no chicken.
Yes, no, it's, you know, it's our own. When you compare with the nation, it's our own chicken now. So let them hold the elephant. We hold our chicken.
Okay, let's go.
So in September we will elect a leader that will have the people's interest. That will have the primary. That will put people in the center of their governance and policies.
Okay, Comrade Ajay, why some are saying those at the center, that we might see a show of the federal might in the state election, and some persons are saying no, you cannot take away the power of incumbency owing to the fact that the state governor, to an extent, from his body language, have a choice of candidate to an extent. And other persons are saying no. During the presidential election, we saw how the obedient movement had their outing in the state, and it actually sent a serious signal to other political parties. Others are saying you can't undermine the power of political parties as far as election is concerned. What are your expectations?
Let me start by saying one thing. The political parties had the responsibility of presenting a candidate. But then it's also done on us, the voters, who are not members of political parties, to say this is what we want. We are more than the candidate. We are more than members of the political parties. But what is not right here is, voters coming, maybe collect one or two things, because that's the advantage they take. They take that advantage by promising you. Some will come to you, even in night, they'll give you 1,000, 5,000, changing your mind for what you have to do. Also, the same applies to that of labor, what do you call it, obedient movement. Obedient movement faded away after the presidential election. They are no more, because obedient movement came into the SARS protest. And so the thing worked. But after the presidential election, there's no.
So they've gone into extinction.
Yes.
Obedient movement in the state. National. Comrade Secretary, he still have the floor. We come to you. You have your time. So you are saying obedient movement, both at the state and the national level, they've gone into extinction. Is that what you are saying? Is that what you are saying?
Yes. After the presidential election, all that happened in the court and every other thing, people, the young boys, those who are active, they've all lost. They lost interest.
Okay.
So they are no longer active as it used to.
Okay.
And I'm even seeing them not doing anything.
Okay. I like how we are going now. This will be very, very interesting. As I says, high voltage violence. Well, we'll come back to you. Emmanuel Obakwolesco, you're going to help us. The internal party crisis impacting on the political dynamics. What are your takes? There seems to be so many breakout and break in and break off in most of the political parties. We saw how the ruling PDP impeached the deputy governor, the former deputy governor now, and he's already pitching tent with the legacy PDP. And of course, in the APC, they are trying to see how to do some amendments to see how to get everybody on board. Even in the Labour Party, that he actually said, one of the front runners, they have so many persons who felt they weren't given a fair place during the primary election, and they are actually pulling a serious weight that might affect the Labour Party. And of course, we have other political parties. Every political party, the 16 of them, have their peculiarity as far as their crisis is concerned. What is your take?
Well, I've maintained my stand over the years. In Nigeria, we don't have a political party.
Correct.
That is my stand.
In Nigeria?
Yes, because if you ask the purported political parties there are now, what is their political culture? Do they have culture? And that is why you see somebody can metamorphose, somebody can swap, somebody can come in, somebody can go out at will. What we have in Nigeria is a gang of fellows who have interests on themselves. And that is why you see, right from the political state, our daddy here was saying something. In fact, he has helped me in laying the foundation upon which I am going to address this issue just now.
Which foundation?
The foundation is that just now, the political parties have given us their candidates, their flag bearers. Who are these flag bearers? How did these flag bearers, these candidates, emerged? Were members of the political parties sincerely elected those who are just now representing them? That is a germane question. See, by the time somebody with the finger of a goddess begin to point at a direction and everybody looks at that direction, then there is problem. We see a situation where even the governors, the incumbent governors, will be the one that will produce the flag bearer, produce the deputy, produce everything. Even in course of appointment, he will sit down somewhere and begin to appoint, just like we saw in Kogi State, where the incumbent governor just now said if he dishes out an order and the former governor gives an order that the people must obey that of the former governor. What are you talking about? Is that what you call political party?
That's loyalty.
What do you mean by loyalty? For goodness sake. See, we have, this is 21st century. This is not 10th century. By the end, at the close of the day, every second counts. Man is getting wiser and more informed. And that is why when you say we have political parties in Nigeria today, I laugh. And that's why I cannot belong to any. Because I looked at all of them, they are one and the same. Bird of a feather, that is what they are. There's nothing like political party, just a gang of fellows who have interests on themselves.
But
and that is why you see, we don't have political party. Like, you see, we are pretending to have a political party. We are only pretending to have a political party. But we do have gang of fellows. I repeat, because that's why you see, okay, look at, somebody can, like, for instance, just like in Ondo State, the present candidate of the People's Democratic Party was a former governor under late Akeredolu, APC. So how did he join the queue? How did he come and pass through the back door? And suddenly, because he has the wherewithal, because People's Democratic Party is desperate to win the governorship election, perhaps they will tell the man, oh, all wrongs have been done to you, and come bring your money back and let us now give you this ticket. And he has emerged, he has gotten it. So, but when you have a political party, the members of the political party, by the time you come in, you will join a queue. And they follow that queue systematically, they observe, and they obey the rules of the party.
All right,
but today, we don't have any like that. I can choose to now go to one XYZ party, and they will give me the governorship candidate ticket. I will come and represent the party.
That will be in 4 years. If it's in Edo State, that will be in 4 years' time after the election. Let's just put that record straight. That will be. Yes, you are from Edo. That will be in 4 years' time after this electionary period. Comrade Zachary, what measures should we take to start arresting some of these irregularities that he has actually atomized?
Just to quickly put this out there, you know, our daddy here, you know, the words of our fathers are important. We can't correct our fathers, but we can also suggest to our fathers. The obedient movement is alive. I happen to be a member of the obedient movement. I've never been a member of any political party, but we are there, we are active, we are involved, we are making decisions, and we are, in fact, just over the weekend we had a rally in Benin. So that it's not as maybe the chaotic as it used to be. There needs to be some method. Then it's now being a lot more systematical than what it is. It used to be an all-commerce affair. Anybody can come. So we now have systems to it. So, and anybody who says, oh, like we see some people who say, oh, I am a member of the obedient movement, but I am not supporting the candidate that our mentor is supporting, Peter Obi. It's like somebody who says, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in Jesus Christ. You are joking. For you to even claim to be a Christian, you must be a believer in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So that is vitally important that we put that in perspective. Again, you asked him this question, but maybe he left it for me to answer about the behavior of certain political parties where people are being impeached and all of that. Look, you must note that governors don't learn. You know, in 2024, governors still think they can manufacture people who will succeed them and then expect absolute loyalty, especially those who have not been loyal to those who produce them. You have not been loyal to the person who produced you. You are attempting to produce someone else that you believe will be loyal to you. It means you have not learned. The wicked story is there for anyone, you know, to learn from. It's an historical precedent that you can learn from. You know, not everybody will be like Ododo, who will, you know, break the law to break out a fugitive, to break out somebody who was under arrest and rescue him with state powers. It's not everybody that will be Ododo. Like, you know, like, look, we can go on and on. It's just because of the kind of country we live in. Ododo has immunity, so he can actually go and attempt. But the policemen attached to Ododo don't have immunity. It then means that if the IG knew his job, the policemen attached to Ododo would have all been arrested, all of them, for enabling that kind of impunity, for enabling a criminal to escape arrest. If the EFCC wants to arrest Yahoo boys now,
he has not been convicted.
No,
I think we have a lawyer.
Suspected criminal.
Suspect. Yes. It's an allegation that has not been proven.
I agree with you entirely. A suspected criminal, and the security agent have sufficient evidence to want to put him under arrest, that a governor will come and break him out. Tomorrow, you expect when EFCC goes to arrest their own boys and the boys in the area gather and chase the FCC, you will say, no, we are taking laws into our own hands. When those who are supposed to uphold the law are the ones even taking it into their own hands. So, look, it's a joke. But for any governor to think he can produce a success, especially here in Edo, there is nothing we detest more than people who want to metamorphose into godfathers. We don't tolerate it at all. You are a human being. Do your own and go. If you are so good, your market will sell itself. But if you think you want to use state powers, you want to use salary, you want to use pension, you want to use divide and rule, them against us, you know, you want to sponsor agenda, say, oh, this is the agenda, so that some ethnic groups will feel loved and some will feel hated, you will be disappointed at the end of the day. And even if you win by those kind of archaic, or should I say a demonic enterprise, even if you win by those kind of enterprise, how will you govern a state that is being fractured at the root? So I want to speak to people. I like to speak to people.
We will get back to you.
I like to speak to people so that as a conclusion of this point, our people should be eyes open, eyes on the ball. We know where we are going to, and we are going to get there. We don't need to romance anybody. Let them come and go. If they bring the money, collect it and chop it. You know, they weaponize poverty. Collect the money, chop ham. Do what it in your mind. Nobody will be intimidated in this state. So, and for those who think they are all powerful, we will see the power of the people. We're not far again. Another 5 months, we don't reach there.
Okay, the way you are speaking, it seems you are very ready. But
of course we are ready.
We'll get back to you in a moment. Now, let's get to you now. Now, looking at the whole intrigues leading to the governorship election in the state, do you think with the current legacy PDP movement, will it have any impact on the Edo PDP?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, these people are, like I said, there's no politician that has a policy in life. They are, like the barrister said, they are kind of a gang. You can imagine somebody who's in the APC last month because he lost something in that APC, joined PDP. We have seen it happen. Somebody who campaign, after campaigning, you do not win primary, the next thing you join another party. People moved to Labour before these primaries and others. So they are one and the same thing. You see, whether rigging, whatever they want to do now, but we, like I said, we that are not politicians, the electorate, will do our best to select somebody we want. Parties, I said it, parties will only bring out candidates. If you, in Edo State, we have a population. Bring that of PDP party members, they are not up to 1/10 of voters.
1%.
Bring those in APC, they are not up to. So how will you now allow some set of people to bring somebody? I said, this is who we must vote for because of money. So this, to me, let us sit up.
Okay, will it be that easy, according to you, in your words, with the wave of power? Just have this done, looking at how people are hungry. Whether we like it or not, there's hunger in the land. Will the political class use this weapon during the election?
That is
Barrister Obakolo will get
yes, if you, by the provision of section 14, subsection 2, paragraph A of the extant constitution, it says that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. Absolutely. And the only time the people of Nigeria exercise their sovereignty is during an electionary period like this. So I want to use this opportunity to admonish Nigerians in general and Edo people in particular. Please, don't allow somebody to come and give you Derica cup of rice, one season law or cube of Maggi to tell you to vote for a particular candidate. Or somebody will not come and influence you with the sudden and dramatic increase of salary that they may not be able to pay you later on, but just to put it on the surface so that you will not say, oh, go and vote for a particular candidate or a particular party. No,
is 70,000 new minimum wage in the state a problem to you as a person? You don't like the idea.
What is 70,000?
You don't like the idea.
Take 70,000 naira to Selu market. See what you can get.
One bag of rice.
Good.
Finish.
Well,
so how many children?
Can it buy a bag of rice?
You can't even buy one bag of rice.
All these instruments with which the Nigerian politicians or the Nigerian political class use to deceive the people of Nigeria, it is high time we tell them to their faces that no, this is not it. It is high time. We told them to the fact that this is not it. Because, you see, when you look at they will come again with the gimmick. Or say, okay, suddenly, you see some people begin to share wrappers to women. Suddenly, you see it very soon. Some will begin to share salt. Some will begin to give 2,000 naira. Oh, in each word, call the elderly. Begin to give the elderly 2,000 naira. What is 2,000 naira?
So are you saying they are buying their conscience?
That is the attempt.
They are buying, and those
that is
people
the
are
attempt.
selling.
But I'm using this platform, this privilege, to tell the people that look, don't condescend so low. This person, Nigeria is like animal farm, where the pigs who emerged as the ruling class will now tell other animals using squealer. Thank God nowadays we don't have squealer. In those days, under then head of state Ibrahim Babangida, we had a man called Chukwumerije who acted like squealer in animal farm. But today, thank God, science and technology has come to wipe out all of that era. So Nigerians, Edo people should sit down and look at the rain that fell yesterday. What did they experience in Edo State? Was it bad for nature to have given us rain? What is the state of security in Edo State? But we have governors who go to take bogus security votes. What do they do with it? How have the people fared for the past 4 years? What was our experience like in the past 4 years? Edo people should sit down and ask themselves.
Okay.
They know whether or not. But unfortunately, even the purported candidates produced by the political parties, well, we'll pick a lesser demon.
Okay. Let's look at the issue of power rotation. You actually made mention of some things that has been given to this comrade Idris Zakari. Do you believe in power rotation in the state?
I absolutely do believe that power should rotate. Depends on how the rotation is going to rotate, whatever that means. But I quickly need to mention that there's one part, so that we put faces to what we are saying. Some local government chairmen are sharing money under the guise of a nano traders scheme. You stand in Ring Road and you are using envelope to share our allocation that was given to your local government. They will account for it. That is another form of vote buying. We are saying it so that they don't think people don't know. You go to Ring Road, you carry TV, you carry radio, you say you are doing nano credit scheme. No register of the poor, no register of those who are nano in your local government, no system to it, no organization, no accountability. You are using envelope to share.
But don't you see this as part of their rights? This is part of their duty.
It's vote buying. There's a system. If you want to share money,
this is empowering the people.
No, if you want to share money,
government,
there is a system to giving out money.
Okay.
Do they have data?
Do you have the data? Who are you giving to? How do you know? The person that even got to the market try. What of the one where no seafood chop take go market? How do you know? Then you go and use brown envelope to be sharing money. It's vote buying. Let's put it out there so that I look at it. Let's not think we are pretending. On the issue of rotation, rotation of power should be done along the lines of what is most important to the people right now. I do believe in rotation. I believe that if people have not had power, we should also let them have it. But it is not only one set of people that don't have power. I come from Auchi. Auchi has not had a governor, a deputy governor since 1999. After Benin City, Auchi is arguably the second biggest urban location in Edo State. So I feel marginalized. The people of Akoko Edo will also feel marginalized. Okay, they have a deputy governor now. The people of Onwan will also feel marginalized. The Esan people will feel marginalized. You know, in Benin City here, the people of Ibanke will feel marginalized. The people of Usen will feel marginalized. If we say let us use this wheel and continue to rotate it, we rotate it for 500 years. So I always advocate why we look at equity, justice, and fairness like people are banding around now. Those who are banding around equity, justice, and fairness are the ones who supported Atiku, a Fulani man who is leaving office. You are supporting another Fulani man to take over from him. You come to Edo State, you are talking equity, justice, and fairness. You suddenly remembered that equity, justice, and fairness must exist. We agree with you. But when we want to turn this, we will turn it for 500 years. So in the final analysis, we must put our best foot forward. a government that puts people at the center of its leadership, not the ones that is hovering. You know, like I said, they have two realities. There's a government that stays in this reality. Then I know people are swimming in erosion in this reality. If you see this reality of Facebook and social media and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, you think Edo is Dubai. But when it rains, you will feel it. You need your car will need amphibious features to navigate the roads in Benin City. So we must come out from that dream. It's a dream. It's a utopian arrangement.
Okay, Comrade Ajay, some stakeholders have concerns about our electoral process in the states, owing to the fact that the local government election actually produced 18 winners from the ruling PDP. And now we are getting close to another election that will be controlled to an extent. Okay, well, INEC is going to be in charge, but most persons are saying you can't take away the strength of an incumbent governor.
Well,
should the electorate be afraid?
Electorate should not be afraid. But what I know is that let us see what has this man done on ground. Like me, I am not a politician, but I've said it to openly, and I was interviewed someday and I mentioned it. What concerns me is about me that have suffered under some governors. And when this one came, he relieved me because you get money, you buy something. Pensioners no longer die as they were dying before. Pensioners are no longer in the queue as before. I'm sorry, I have to speak my mind.
So this one is a friend to the pensioners.
Yes.
He's friend of the pensioners.
Yes, he's a friend of pensioners. Okay. Even though he has not completed everything, because he's supposed to also use to complete that assignment by paying the gratuity that they left. Okay. So the late areas for him, which he has cleared, then the gratuity is on ground now. But he should try as much as, if he's paying it, everybody will support him too. That's as far as I'm concerned, because I have children. I have brothers, I have sisters. When I was suffering, they were the ones supporting me. And for now, they no longer, even if I don't ask them, they know I am okay. That is what we want. Let this program get to everybody.
Okay.
Whether personnel or workers or market women. And those, there should be program.
Okay.
You should put in that, even the youth. You don't, today you are shouting Yahoo, Yahoo here and there. Who caused it? A graduate who finished, you have no job to do, you sit idle, you have computer, and then today we are ICT compliant. You can see things happening. People now invent from even mere computer, you look at it, you see what is happening, you practice it, works out. So why would we be blaming them? What I'm saying is...
But that doesn't mean that we are encouraging internet fraud.
Yes.
We condemn it in its entirety.
You can condemn it.
You can be ICT compliance, but
you see, before now, yes, the PDP candidate sometimes came up with something that I like. He said, if you pay somebody, you employ somebody and you are paying that person what is not sufficient to carry him, he steals.
Okay.
If you employ a salesman and this man is selling big money and you are paying peanut from there, he will begin to pick from that thing. Yeah. But when you employ that person and you give him enough, he will not look at what he will deliver to you. Now, what I'm saying is, the government want to enjoy everybody. Like all these unemployed people, create a program for them.
Okay.
Empower them.
All right, Comrade Zachary, he's saying that the government has done well. But looking at the 18/18 scorecard that the current administration have, should other political parties be afraid?
About doing well for pensioners, my mother died in the year 2016. And till this material time, as we speak, we have not seen gratuity. She worked for this state for over 30 years.
Can I explain that for you?
And we have not seen it. We have not seen a gratuity.
You have right of reply. Let him just...
we have not seen a gratuity. So I hope and pray that as our father has commended, let God touch their mind, because our mother earns that money. Now 4 of us is born. To answer your question, somebody put a prayer on social media yesterday that I was very worried about. He said, may the federal government treat Edo State election the way Edo State government treated local government election. It's a very worrisome prayer. Because I have said it here time and again. There is no local government election in Nigeria. Take this to the bank. They will give you money. There is no local government election in Nigeria. What these people do is okay, let me be media compliant.
You have to.
What these people do is that they allegedly write results. If I say they write result, but let's say allegedly write result, because how can you convince me that there was that I went on election day, I went to vote, there was no voting now, nothing even came there now, but I have a councillor in my ward.
You have proofs to what you're saying.
I went now, the proof. Okay. I went to if something happen here now, not be here, they go for call witness.
You have evidence.
Me now witness. I go my unit, Ugbo primary school. There was no voting there. And then they announced results. Who vote for the election? Where is the electoral register they used in the last election? Because we are aware, they say they did not have access to electoral register from my name. So which one? So you will just come say, my name is Idrisu, I'm a voter in Edo. They will say, okay, it's on print. That one is a fraud. So let's remove it. And it's not just Edo. So that to look as if we hate
it's all over
the governor. The only state that has done election where opposition even win 1 or 2 seats was in Kaduna under Nasir El-Rufai. Is the only one that did the election. The opposition won councillor and won local government. Any other state governor, it is local government is settlement for the boys. It is settlement for the boys. All the boys that have worked very hard, both good and not so good. You gather them, you settle them. That's local government. Okay. That's what they told you to. So if we pray, that prayer that I prayed earlier, that the federal government treats Edo election like Edo state government treated local government, because Edo controls local government election, which is HCEC. So if we say that federal government that controls INEC treats Edo state election like the way Edo state HCEC treated local government, Edo people
will decide.
For that kind of prayer. The only thing I'm going to pray is that we need free, fair, democratic election.
Okay.
That will elect the most popular man on the ballot.
Okay, quickly, Barrister Bakbolo, what lessons should we learn talking about free, fair election now? What lessons should we learn from previous election, and how can we replicate it in the upcoming election?
In 2020, the governorship election in Edo State was one that we should learn from.
Yes,
absolutely.
That election is one of the elections that I will give credit to. I likened that election to the one conducted by former head of state Babangida, the option A4. I likened that election to it. But other elections, more so that with the one you people call off-cycle election, I do not think that Nigeria is ready for any election. I do not think so. We will keep going out as electorate to go and do our best possible to vote. But just now, in the words of late Gani Fawemi, he said Nigerians don't learn from history. Nigerians only make history. And I add to that, Nigerians only make history negatively. So until we are ready to learn from yesteryears, then the future is bleak. But when we learn from yesteryears, then the future will be bright. But this crop of leaders I see now, they are not ready to take Nigeria to El Dorado.
All right, quickly, we need to start, let's start wrapping up now. What's your final take as we begin to go now?
What my final, first of all, I would like to address the comrades.
Yeah, you are the states. You are the
my
state.
mother did not pay that gratuity.
Well, you have to make it brief. You continue the discussion. You continue the discussion later.
You see, I say, when you are alive, they pay you gratuity.
Okay.
But when the person dies, after retirement, it's become death benefit. Then there are processes you go through, like going to court and all those things, submit your paper, and they will pay. Unlike when you are alive, it's like if people have not followed it up. So maybe after this,
she didn't go to court. So I'm wondering why.
You just have to.
You just have to.
You just align with him after the show.
I would have guided him.
There's something
I did one for some
there's something they call convict emptor. Have you?
Maybe we would like to have this as a discussion subsequently, so that we can enlighten our pensioners that are in the state So sorry about the demise of your moment.
No, it's 2016, so we are past that. We are moved on.
Okay, so let's have your final take. The youths are actually gearing up to doing for the election, but the fear now is: are we going to have voter apathy? Looking at what happened in the 2023 election.
We are working very hard. I led the research across the state recently, Civic Voices, where we spoke to people, political enlightenment, engaged with people, sought their opinion on a ranging number of. So that's where I know from that sample size, from the analysis that came from there, that I know that ethnicity will not really play a role. So go and campaign. If your only basis for wanting to, your only claim to power is that you are from a certain place, is a joke. You are joking.
Yes.
No, that said, we are talking to the youth. We are engaging with the youth. We are asking them questions. We are putting questions forward so that we can also push this narrative that we have to be involved. You can't fold your hands and sit by the side. Use everything within your disposal to be involved in governance. And then, like our father said, thank God is chairman of pensioners. When my mother was alive, she didn't go to court to work for the government. When she was alive, and I know the way things are done elsewhere. When she was in this state, she worked, and it was documented that she worked very hard for this state. So she had a meritorious service, rose to the peak of her career as the head of her school. So why do I have to go to court now for you to give me what this woman has worked very hard
Probably
for?
the procedure.
So
we don't pass that.
I am questioning the process.
Okay.
I am not saying it's not the process. The process is for them. Probably some of them may not even need it anymore. But we are questioning the process. You should respect even the dead. If you know, they hold pensioners. So what do you expect from people who have now passed on? They can hold the living. You think they will not hold the dead? These are funny people. I tell you.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Zekeri. Emmanuel Bakwala Esquire, there's a fear now. Can we ever have a free, fair, credible election without the losers, as it were, go to courts to battle it out after the election?
In Nigeria.
It's unfortunate that in this dispensation, the phrase "go to court" has come to stay. Perhaps maybe until this crop of political class disappear. Because I don't think there is any election that will go on in Nigeria just now that they will not go to court.
Even primaries.
It's not possible.
I don't think so, because we are already seeing the signal from the primaries of the political parties. Already seeing the signal. It's a glaring one. It's a fact that we have all come to embrace. It has come to stay with us. So, but then I do hope and pray that the Edo State governorship election will go into history books like the one in 2020 as one election that is free, fair, and credible.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Michael Ajay. Thank you so much for coming. Comrade Zekeri,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And of course, Emmanuel Bakwala Esquire, it's always a delight to have you. Well, this is the size of our show.